Leo was not like the others. He was the only human at the Grand Galactic Academy. The academy was a place where students from many planets came to study. Some had blue skin, some had tails, some had eyes that glowed. But Leo was just human, quiet, simple, and alone. He sat at the back of every class. His notes were always neat. He liked machines and old tech. While others played games or talked in alien languages, Leo spent his time in the tech lab. He fixed broken robots and built small gadgets. Most students didn't even know his name. They just called him the Human. Leo didn't mind. He wasn't there to make friends. He just wanted to learn and go back to Earth. He missed his little room, his cat, and his quiet mornings. But he knew this academy was special. The knowledge here was like nothing on Earth, so he stayed. One day, a teacher made an announcement. "Next week," she said, "we go on a field trip to planet Almaris. It has ancient ruins and energy crystals. All students must attend." Leo didn't like travel. But he packed his bag, took his toolkit, and got ready. The ship landed on Almaris one bright morning. The planet had purple skies and green sand. The ruins looked like giant steps made of glass. Strange trees moved slowly, even though there was no wind. "Stay close," the guide said. "These ruins are very old. Some areas are unstable." The students walked in small groups. Leo walked alone, as always. He looked at the broken walls and took notes. He touched a crystal and smiled. It felt warm, like it was alive. Then he heard a noise, crack. A sharp sound echoed through the ruins. Everyone turned. One of the crystal arches was breaking. Under it stood Princess Arali. Arali was from the Moonwind clan. Her skin was silver blue. She wore a crown made of light. She was a royal student, smart, brave, and kind. Everyone knew her. But now she was in danger. The crystal above her shook again. The guides shouted. The students froze. No one moved, except Leo. He dropped his bag and ran forward. "Get down!" he shouted. Arali looked surprised. She tried to step back, but the ground was cracked. Leo reached her, just as the crystal above began to fall. He grabbed her arm and pulled her aside. The crystal hit the ground behind them, breaking into 100 glowing pieces. There was silence. Dust floated in the air. Then the others rushed in. The guide checked the area. Teachers ran forward. "Is anyone hurt?" Leo stood up. His hands were shaking. O'Reilly stood beside him, her eyes wide. "You saved me," she said softly. Leo looked away. "It's okay. I just did what anyone would do." But deep down, he knew not everyone would have done it. No one else had moved. Just him. Back on the ship, O'Reilly tried to talk to Leo, but he stayed quiet. He didn't like attention. "Why did you help me?" she asked. Leo shrugged. "You were in danger, that's all." She smiled. "Most would have waited. You didn't." Leo looked at her. "I guess humans don't like waiting when someone's about to get hurt." O'Reilly nodded. "I won't forget this." Leo gave a small smile and went back to his seat. Back at the academy, students whispered. "That human saved the princes. I heard he ran into danger. Did you see how fast he moved?" But Leo ignored it all. He returned to the tech lab. He fixed drones and read books. He didn't tell anyone about what happened. He just wanted life to go back to normal. Arali was called back to her home planet soon after. Royal duties, they said. She didn't get the chance to say goodbye. Leo didn't expect to see her again. But in his heart, something had changed. He still worked. Alone, still lived quietly. But now he felt different. Maybe he didn't belong. But maybe, just maybe, someone had finally seen him. The next day after the rescue, Leo quietly returned to his normal routine at the academy. While students kept whispering about what had happened on planet Almaris, Leo stayed away from the attention. He didn't like noise or crowds. He was happy with his small tools, old machines, and peaceful time in the tech lab. But things had changed. Now, whenever Leo walked through the halls, other students looked at him. Some gave him nods, some even smiled. A few tried to talk to him, but Leo always gave short answers and walked away. He was not used to being noticed. And then there was Princess Arali. Before the incident, she probably didn't even know his name. She was royalty, beautiful, confident, and always surrounded by friends. But now she looked for Leo. One afternoon, she entered the tech lab. Her soft silver blue skin glowed under the lights. Leo was fixing a broken drone and didn't look up right away. "You're always hiding in here," Arali said with a small smile. Leo glanced at her, surprised. "I'm not hiding, I just like working here." She walked closer. "You're different from the others." Leo nodded. "I know. I'm human." "That's not what I mean," she said. "Others freeze when there's danger, you didn't." Leo stayed silent. He didn't know what to say. Arali sat on the edge of the workbench. "Why don't you talk to others?" Leo picked up a tool and replied, "They don't understand me. I'm not from their world." Arali looked thoughtful. "You saved me, Leo. That means something." "I didn't do it to get noticed," Leo said. "I just didn't want anyone to get hurt." She smiled again. "That's exactly why it matters." In the following days, Arali came to visit Leo more often. She watched him work on machines. Sometimes she asked questions. Sometimes she just sat nearby, watching him silently. Leo was confused. Why was the princess spending time with him? One day, she brought him a small gift, an energy crystal from her home planet. It glowed with a soft blue light. "This is for you," she said. "It's not much, but it's from my family's mountain." Leo looked at it, then at her. "Thank you. It's beautiful." "You saved me," she repeated. "I wanted to give you something special." Leo didn't know how to reply. No one had ever given him anything like that before. But peace did not last forever. A week later, during a science demonstration, the students were taken to the Academy's gravity field. It was a large room used to test machines in zero gravity space. Everyone floated gently, laughing and playing with the controls. Suddenly, something went wrong. A new student from a different planet touched the wrong panel. A heavy energy ball used for testing got loose. It floated quickly toward the group and right toward Arali. "Watch out!" Someone shouted. The ball spun fast. No one knew how to stop it. Students panicked, flying away from it. But once again, Leo didn't wait. He pushed off the wall and flew toward Arali. He grabbed a metal rod floating nearby and hit the energy ball just before it could hit her. The ball bounced off and stuck to a magnet panel. Everyone stared. Arali looked at him, eyes wide. "You, again." Leo laughed softly, floating next to her. "You keep finding trouble." "And you keep saving me," she said with a small smile. After that, even more students talked about Leo. "He's the princess's protector. Did you see him in the gravity lab? Humans are braver than they look." Leo still tried to keep quiet, but now even teachers respected him more. Some offered him extra projects. Others asked him to join their science teams. But most of all, Arali stayed close. She walked with him during study hours. She joined him at lunch, even when other royals gave her strange looks. She asked him about Earth, about his family, about human life. Leo slowly started talking more. He told her about Earth's oceans, about his cat, about his favorite books. "I want to see your world one day," Arali said one evening. Leo looked at her. "You're a princess. You could go anywhere." She smiled. "Maybe, but I'd rather go with someone who makes it worth visiting." But then, just like that, it changed. One morning, the Academy made an announcement. Princess Arali has been called back to her home planet. Her family needs her. Leo was in the tech lab when he heard it. He stopped working. His heart felt strange, heavy. He waited for her to come say goodbye. But she didn't the next day. She was gone. Leo stood at the window of the academy tower, holding the small glowing crystal she had given him. Her ship had already left. He didn't know why she didn't say goodbye. Maybe it was sudden. Maybe her duties didn't allow time. Or maybe she thought it would be easier this way. Still, Leo felt something inside him, not sadness. Not anger, but something soft, something real. She had seen him. She had chosen to spend time with him. That was more than he ever expected. And deep down, he believed one thing. This wasn't the end. After Princess Arali left the academy, everything felt different for Leo. The academy halls were still full of color, and sound, students of every shape and size moving from class to class. But for Leo, the days felt quiet again. The laughter around him sounded distant. The one voice he had started to look forward to, Arali's, was now gone. He returned to his old routine. Early mornings in the tech lab, quiet meals in the corner of the dining hall, late nights reading manuals and building small machines. The other students still whispered about him, but Leo didn't care. He saved her life twice. I heard the princess gave him a rare crystal. Maybe they were close? Leo never joined in those talks. He just nodded politely and walked away. He didn't like being the center of attention. One afternoon, a teacher entered the lab and watched Leo working. "You're very talented," the teacher said. "You could lead a team. Many students look up to you now." Leo looked up from his circuit board and shook his head. "I just like fixing things," the teacher smiled. "That's fine. But don't forget, sometimes the quiet ones become the strongest voices." In the evenings, Leo often stared at the glowing blue crystal Arali had given him. It rested on his desk, always glowing softly, like it was alive. Whenever he touched it, it felt warm. He remembered their talks, how she had listened to him, how she had smiled at his simple stories from Earth. She had made him feel seen, even when the whole galaxy seemed so big and cold. Now, all that was a memory. Still, something inside Leo had changed. He wasn't just the quiet human anymore. He had acted in moments of danger, not for reward, but because it felt right. And now, he wondered, what would Arali be doing now? Did she return to a palace? Was she meeting other royals? Did she still remember him? He shook his head. "Stop thinking like that," he whispered to himself. "She's a princess, you're just a student." Weeks turned into months. The academy moved forward. New lessons, new science projects, and new events filled the calendar. Leo joined a few research groups. He even started helping other students when they had trouble with machines. He didn't talk much, but when he did, his voice had calm strength. Slowly, students stopped calling him the human. They called him by name now. "Leo, can you help us fix this drone?" "Leo, your gravity engine design was brilliant." "Leo, want to join our space test group?" He still kept to himself, but something was building. A quiet respect. One evening, while cleaning his tools, Leo found a folded note stuck under one of his books. He didn't remember putting it there. It was written on silver paper, with small, elegant handwriting. "To the human who saw me as a person, not a princess, you changed my path. I won't forget. When the time is right, I'll return. Arali." Leo stared at the note for a long time. He hadn't seen this before. Had she left it before she left? How did she put it there without him knowing? His chest felt tight, but in a good way. She remembered. She meant it. After that, Leo started smiling more. Just a little. He didn't tell anyone about the note. It was something he kept close to his heart. A quiet hope. During an academy competition, Leo designed a rescue robot that could fly through fire and ice. The judges were amazed. They awarded him first place. "Your design could save lives," they told him. Leo nodded. "That's the idea." More and more, he was being noticed, not for saving a princess, but for his own skill, his mind, and his heart. But still, he never bragged. He never showed off. He didn't need to. He was no longer hiding. He was growing. One night as he walked back to his room, he looked up at the stars. They were beautiful, bright, endless. Somewhere out there, Arali was looking at the same stars. Maybe she was thinking of him too. He held the crystal in his hand. It glowed gently in the dark. She said she'd return, he whispered. I'll wait. And with that, Leo smiled, not because he needed a reward, but because someone out there had seen him for who he really was. Not just a human, not just a student, but someone who mattered. Months passed. The seasons changed on the Academy's planet, but Leo's life moved in quiet circles. He studied hard, worked in the tech lab, and joined more research teams. His skills with machines grew sharper, his ideas more advanced. Teachers praised him. Students respected him. But even with all the success, a part of his heart still waited. He missed Arali. No one talked about her anymore. She had been gone for a long time. Some said she was training to become queen. Others said she was helping with royal peace missions on distant planets. Leo didn't know which story was true. He only knew one thing: she had promised to return. He believed her. Each night, Leo sat by the window in his room. He looked up at the stars. His room was filled with machines, blinking lights, and shelves of tech. But the one thing he kept close was the glowing blue crystal Arali had given him. It still glowed softly, never losing its light. He held it sometimes, wondering if she held hers too. Where are you now? He whispered one night. There was no answer, but he kept waiting. Graduation day was getting closer. Final exams were announced. Project deadlines were near. The academy halls buzzed with energy. Students from every world worked hard. Excitement filled the air. Leo focused on his final project, a rescue drone that could fly through storms, snow, and fire. It had taken months to design. He built it from scratch, added sensors, and trained it using simulations. During a test flight, the drone flew smoothly over a frozen lake and returned with data. The teachers were impressed. Leo, one of them said, your mind is something special. We see great things in your future. Leo gave a small smile. Thank you. But deep inside, he still wondered, would Arali ever come back? One evening, as he was finishing his drone coding, a loud sound echoed outside the academy. VRMMM. A ship. But not just any ship. It was huge, silver, shining with royal symbols. The kind of ship only used by rulers or high leaders. Students rushed to the windows. Teachers paused their lessons. The ship slowly landed in the open courtyard. Everyone gathered to see what was happening. Who is it? A student asked. Is it a royal guest? Said another. Then the door of the ship opened, and the whole academy fell silent. Princess Arali stepped out. She looked different, but in a good way. Her silver blue skin still glowed. Her crown was now brighter. Her cloak shimmered like the night sky. But her smile was the same, warm and full of light. She walked with grace, her eyes searching the crowd. Then she saw him. Leo. He stood at the back, quiet as always, unsure what to do. For a second he thought he was dreaming, but then Arali walked straight toward him. Hello, Leo, she said. He blinked. You came back. I told you I would, she said with a smile. Did you wait for me? Leo nodded slowly. Yes. Everyone watched in silence. Some whispered, some stared. But Arali didn't care. She reached into her cloak and pulled out a small, glowing cube. This, she said, is for you. Leo looked at the cube. It had strange lights and floating symbols. What is it? He asked. A surprise, she said softly. A reward. Not just for saving me, but for being the kind of person who never asked for anything in return. Leo slowly took the cube. It felt light but full of power. I don't understand, he said. You will, Arali replied. Come with me. They walked to a quiet corner near the garden, away from the crowd. Leo looked at the cube again. It's a royal invitation, Arali explained. Inside is a scholarship to continue your research on my planet. You'll have your own lab, your own team, and full support from the Moonwing clan. Leo stared at her. You told them about me? She nodded. I told them everything, about how a quiet human saved me, about how he didn't care about fame, about how he fixed machines and read books when others only wanted attention. Leo felt his heart beat faster. I don't know what to say. He whispered. Say yes, Arali said with a smile. Join us. Help build a better world. And maybe spend more time with me. Leo looked at the stars above. The same stars he had watched every night. He looked at the crystal in his hand, the one she gave him long ago. He looked at her, his friend, the princess, the one who never forgot. And then he smiled. Yes, he said, I'll come. The next morning, the sky above the academy was filled with soft golden light. But this morning was not like others. A royal ship, smooth, silver, and glowing with moon-blue lights, stood in the main courtyard. It had tall wings shaped like stars and banners with the Moonwing symbol. It looked like something from a dream. And it was here for one person. Leo. Students crowded near the windows and balconies. Some whispered. Some stared in silence. Even the teachers stood still. No one expected this. Royal ships only arrived for leaders, rulers, or heroes of the galaxy. But today, the princess had come back for a quiet human student. Leo stood in front of the ship, carrying a small bag and the glowing invitation cube. He wore his academy uniform, clean and simple, nothing royal, nothing shiny, but his eyes were steady. Arali stood beside him. Her long cloak moved gently in the wind. She smiled at him and said, Ready? Leo gave a small nod. Still feels like a dream. It's real, she said softly. And it's just the beginning. As the ship rose into the sky, Leo looked down at the academy. He remembered the quiet lab, the empty dining hall tables, the long nights of fixing machines. Alone. And he remembered how it all changed after he met Arali. He had never imagined leaving this place with a royal princess. Now, he was flying into the stars with her. The journey to the Moonwing planet took 2 days. The ship was quiet, peaceful, and full of light. There were soft pillows to sit on, windows that showed moving stars, and gentle music that played like wind through trees. Everything felt calm. Leo spent most of the trip asking questions. What's your planet like? Do people there accept humans? Why did you really invite me? Arali answered with honesty. My planet has floating cities, gardens in the sky, and towers made from moonstone, she said. It's peaceful, but we need new ideas, new minds. That's why I brought you. Leo looked surprised. Me? But I'm just a student. Arali shook her head. You're not just anything. You think deeply. You act when it matters. You create things no one else does. Leo looked out the window. I never thought a princess would notice someone like me. You didn't try to impress me, Arali said gently. That's why I noticed. When the ship landed, Leo stepped out into a world he had never imagined. The Moonwing home planet was beautiful. The sky was silver with floating lights. Buildings floated like clouds, connected by bridges of light. Trees had crystal leaves. The air smelled sweet, and soft glowing fish swam through the sky like birds. Arali walked ahead, proud and calm. People bowed to her as she passed. Then they looked at Leo. Some were curious, some surprised, but none were unkind. He is my guest. Arali said clearly. He saved my life, twice. The people nodded in respect. Leo felt shy but also strong. He was walking in a royal city, not because of his name, but because of his heart. Soon, they reached a tower made of white stone and silver glass. It stood by a calm lake, and birds with long wings flew above it. "This will be your lab," Arali said. "You can build anything you want here. You'll have tools, helpers, and all the materials you need." Leo stepped inside. The lab was perfect, clean, quiet, full of machines, computers, and energy tools. It even had a desk made from earthwood. He turned to her, amazed. "You did all this for me?" She smiled. "You deserve it. But there's one more thing." She pressed a button, and a screen appeared. "This is your new project," she said. "A joint mission between our world and yours. We want to build a rescue system for all planets, a group of machines that can help during storms, accidents, or danger. You'll lead the design." Leo was speechless. "You trust me with this?" "I trust you more than anyone," Arali said softly. That night, Leo stood on the balcony of his lab, looking at the stars. He held the glowing blue crystal she had given him long ago. It still shined in his hand. He thought about everything, from the lonely boy in the academy, to the human who ran into danger, to the friend of a princess, to a leader of a new future. A soft voice broke his thoughts. "Are you happy?" Arali asked, standing beside him. Leo looked at her and nodded. "Yes, I think I am." "You earned this," she said, "not because you're powerful, but because you're kind." Leo smiled. "Thank you for coming back." Arali smiled too. "I never forgot you. And I never will." Leo woke up early on his first day in the Moonwing lab. The soft silver sky outside the window glowed gently. A cool breeze came through the open glass walls. Birds with glowing wings flew past quietly. It didn't feel like a dream anymore. It was real. Leo got ready, put on a light white robe given to him by the palace staff, and stepped into his new lab. It was bright, clean, and full of amazing tools. The machines here were better than anything he had used before. The energy core in the center gave light and power to the whole room. He still couldn't believe this was all his. Later that morning, Arali arrived. She wore a soft blue cloak and had her hair tied up in a glowing thread. "Good morning, Leo," she said warmly. "Morning," Leo replied, smiling. "I was just about to start planning the rescue system." Arali walked beside him, looking at his early sketches. "You already started?" "You don't waste time." Leo nodded. "There's so much I want to build. I was thinking of creating small helper drones first. They can fly into dangerous areas where big ships can't go." Arali leaned over the table and studied his notes. "Very smart. Maybe we can use moon crystals to power them. They're light but strong." "That's a great idea," Leo said. They worked together for hours, sketching plans and running tests. Leo was surprised how much Arali knew. She wasn't just a princess. She was also smart, curious, and full of good ideas. She never acted proud or gave orders. She listened. She helped. She laughed. And slowly, Leo began to feel something new. He felt like he belonged here. By the end of the week, Leo had built the first working prototype of the rescue drone. It was small, fast, and could scan damaged buildings for survivors. Test flight was held in the garden outside the lab. Arali stood with a group of engineers, scientists, and a few royal guards. Leo pressed a button, and the drone flew into the air. It zipped through the floating trees, scanned a broken wall, and returned with full data. Everyone clapped. "This is amazing," one of the engineers said. "Simple, strong, and fast," said another. Arali clapped the loudest. "Leo, you've done something special." Leo smiled, a little shy. "It's just a small start. Small steps build big futures," Arali replied. Later that evening, Arali took Leo for a walk across the moon bridge. It was a long path made of glass and light, floating over a glowing river. "I told my family about you," Arali said gently. Leo looked at her. "What did they say?" "They were unsure at first," she said. "You're human. You're not from our world. But then I showed them your work. I told them how you think, how you act. Now they believe in you too." Leo looked down at the soft lights under the bridge. "I never wanted fame. I just wanted to do something good." "And you are," Arali said. "More than you know." They walked in silence for a few moments. The stars above them twinkled like tiny candles. Then Arali stopped. "There's one more reward," she said quietly. Leo turned to her. "More? You already gave me everything." "This one is personal," she said. "Not from my kingdom, from me." She reached into her robe and pulled out a small box. It was silver and glowing with gentle light. Leo opened it slowly. Inside was a pendant, half moon, half deer. One side looked like her family's symbol. The other side looked like a part of a machine. "This is our bond," she said. "You saved me when you didn't have to. Twice. You became my friend when I was just a princess, and you were just a student." Leo's voice was soft. "But you never treated me like I was just anything. And you never treated me like I was above you," Arali said. "That's rare. That's special." Leo looked at the pendant again. "It's beautiful." Arali stepped closer. "It means we build the future together, you and me," Leo smiled. "I'd like that." The next day, Leo wore the pendant around his neck. He continued his work in the lab. He designed better drones. He tested energy shields. He began drawing plans for a full rescue system that could be used on many planets. More people came to visit him, scientists, builders, and leaders. They didn't come because he was a hero. They came because they saw his value. And every time someone thanked him, every time someone asked him for help, he remembered that it all started with one moment. When he ran forward while others stood still. Now he wasn't just a student. He wasn't just a human. He was someone building a better galaxy with a princess by his side. Months passed on the Moonwing planet. Leo's life had changed completely. He was no longer the quiet boy in the back of the class. Now he was a lead designer working in a royal lab. His rescue drones were being tested across different cities. The machines he built had already saved lives during a building fire and a storm near the Crystal Mountains. The people respected him. But more than that, they liked him. They liked the way he spoke clearly and simply. They liked how he never acted proud. They liked how he worked hard every single day without asking for rewards. He had become a symbol of what humans could be. One morning, Arali visited the lab with exciting news. "Leo," she said, smiling, "the council has approved the Galaxy Rescue Network." Leo turned to her, surprised. "Really? They agreed?" She nodded. "Yes, your designs will become part of a system used across many planets. We'll start building the rescue bases next month." Leo stared at his workbench where the blueprints of his drone lay open. He could hardly believe it. "So it's happening," he said softly. "It's happening because of you," Arali said. "Because you cared." A few days later, the first test of the Galaxy Rescue Network took place. The main control room was full of scientists, engineers, and officials from different planets. Leo stood at the center. Arali was beside him. Room went quiet as Leo pressed the activation button. On screens around the room, drones launched from 5 different planets. They scanned disaster areas, helped lift debris, and sent medical help to people in danger. The crowd watched with amazement. "This is history," one of the scientists whispered. When the test ended, the room exploded with cheers. Leo didn't say much. He just smiled and nodded. But inside, his heart was full. He had done it. That evening, Arali invited Leo to the royal gardens. It was quiet there, with soft lights floating through the air. The trees glowed gently. The sky was full of stars. They sat near a crystal fountain. "Do you remember?" Arali said. "The first time we met properly?" Leo smiled. "You were almost crushed by a crystal arch. And you pulled me away. Like it was nothing. She laughed. Leo looked at her. That day changed my life. It changed mine too, she said. Before that, I was just following royal duties. After that, I wanted to understand more. I wanted to see the world through your eyes. Leo was silent for a moment. Then he said, I think I'm going to stay. O'Reilly turned toward him. Stay? He nodded. Here, on this planet, I feel like I belong now. She smiled, her eyes soft. I hoped you would say that. Soon after, a grand ceremony was held in the Moonwind Palace. Leo was given the Star of Peace, the highest honor for someone who helped many worlds. People from dozens of planets came to watch. But Leo didn't care about the medal. What mattered most was the quiet moment after the ceremony, when O'Reilly took his hand and said, You're not just part of this world now. You're part of my life. Leo looked at her. And you're part of mine. Time moved forward. Leo's name became known across galaxies, not as a hero of war, but as a builder of peace. The rescue system saved thousands of lives. Young students studied his work. New planets joined the network. But through it all, Leo stayed. The same. Simple. Calm. Focused. And never forgetting where he came from. One clear night, Leo stood on a balcony with O'Reilly beside him. They looked up at the stars. Do you ever miss Earth? O'Reilly asked. Sometimes, Leo said, but not as much anymore. Why? Because home isn't a place, Leo said softly. It's where you're understood, where someone believes in you. O'Reilly smiled. Then I'm glad you're home. And so the story of a quiet human student and a brave alien princess became more than just a tale. It became a reminder to the galaxy that kindness matters, that courage is quiet, that one good person can change everything. And that even among stars, a human heart can shine the brightest.